What I found in my involvement with the San Francisco AIDS Foundation is the person that I am at my core. It's the 3 A's, the activist, the advocate, and the artist. That's what the foundation's given to me.
My life now can be summed up with a few keywords: thriving, joyful, happy, and free. Free is the word I would say, is the main word I would use.
I never thought I'd be here after 40 years. I was 18 when those first reports came out about this strange disease that, was killing young gay men. 2 months later, my friend started dying. 7 years after that, I was told I had acquired this virus and was told I was going to have 5 years to live.
I wasn't obviously around in the 80s to see it all happen. I was also removed from the US story. I am Indian, but I was born and raised in Dubai. Homophobia and AIDS phobia is a common through line between India and Dubai. India doesn't have anything in the books against folks who have AIDS, but Dubai does. I was diagnosed in the beginning of 2015 in Dubai at a private clinic. I was tipped off by a lover, and they were being deported for being positive.
I drank for 5 years after my diagnosis. Literally. It's like a blur from 25 to 30 because I thought, I'm going to die. Why even bother? There was no hope.
When I first heard the diagnosis, it confirmed the worst fears, right? The rug slipped out from under me, and my entire life felt like it was spinning and that it was all going into the drain. So I just felt helpless and alone and scared and unable to share any of that with my family. So it was very lonely in that time.
The day I finally told my parents was right after my 30th birthday. They responded in a way I didn't expect. Both my parents took my hands in theirs, looked me in the eye and said, how can we help? What can we do? And I just lost it because it's not the response I expected. The one who really blew my mind was my very Catholic immigrant grandmother from Mexico, my abuelita. But when I told her I had this disease, she just took me in her arms and she said, but you're still my grandson. And it just made the world a difference to know that this disease didn't define who I was and that it didn't define my relationship with my family.
Once I had my diagnosis, I had 12 months to decide where to go, and in my research, the US was the only place where I could just come as a visitor and then apply for a change of status as an asylum seeker. So my immediate need was figuring out how I could continue getting medication and career, of course, as well, how to jumpstart all of that. And I tapped into Strut.
When I came back in 2014, I was lost. I had been divorced, my grandmother had died, Palm Springs didn't work out. I didn't know what to do, where to go, but I knew to go to the foundation.
Part of the consult that I got at Strut included advice to get in touch with a couple of legal organizations that do this work pro bono, and they were able to give me all the information I needed medically, legal help, and steps I needed to take to find either work or some kind of subsidy for rent assistance and so on and so forth.
And I had met Vince Crisostomo, who then was the program director of the Elizabeth Taylor 50 Plus group. And he invited me to that. And then I had told him, and jokingly, where do you meet men? And he's like, well, if you really want to meet men, you got to come to the HIV Advocacy Network. That was it. That was for me.
The path to asylum started with that first consult at Strut. So my asylum was granted in February of 2017. I was able to apply for my green card and I had it in my hand in August of 2018.
With my involvement with the foundation, but specifically the advocacy network, I now am living this life of intent and purpose.
The foundation really was my North Star to just guide me through the next steps. Throughout these 5 years now, over 5 years that I've spent in San Francisco, I've come across many other individuals like myself, and I have not hesitated in guiding them to the foundation.
These young folks who work at the foundation now, they inspire me every day. Now the foundation can fight for equity and health and racial equity and things that we couldn't focus on then. And that's exciting to me, is the potential that the foundation has to really make significant change in the world. Not just around AIDS and HIV, but so much more.